20th, 2026. Look at these beautiful people. Yeah! This is T-Talk. I love my community. I love you guys for showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Lydia Diamond, your hostess with the mostest. And I'm gonna let Kevin introduce himself first. Hello, how
Hi,
are
Lydia.
you?
Thank you
Good
for
to
having
see
me.
you.
It
I'm
is so
happy
good
to have
see
you again. Yay!
Well, the last time I saw you, we were in the park, and you served me a delicious vegan taco.
Did.
It was so good.
Yes! Yeah. Oh, that was such a great day. It was beautiful. The community was in full effect, you know?
Absolutely.
I truly enjoyed myself. Oh, yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Bloom, and I am running for the office of Sheriff of Chittenden County. I am running on a platform of eviction reform through eviction prevention to keep children and families housed, get landlords paid, and create a safer community for all of us. I am the only person running for county sheriff in Vermont who advocates to abolish ICE, and with your vote, I will be the first openly transgender person to serve as an elected sheriff in the history of the United States. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Lydia.
I love Kevin. I
Love
mean,
Lydia.
Who else could step up and say, I want to abolish ICE? I want to keep families from being evicted. We need that energy and that truth. Okay, I'm going to calm down.
Don't.
Come on, Sarah George.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Lydia. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Sarah George. I'm the Chittenden County State's Attorney. I've been a prosecutor in Chittenden County since 2011 and the elected State's Attorney since 2017. I've spent a lot of that time really acknowledging the inherent and the intentional disparities in our criminal legal system. It is the foundation of it is built on oppressing people of color and poor people and people with mental health and substance use issues. And it doesn't have to be. We can implement policies and practices that are based on evidence and research and data, and not the people that we have decided should be incarcerated or should be penalized or policed and prosecuted. And that's what I have strived to do, and looking forward to being reelected so that I can continue to do that.
Yay, Sarah! Come on in.
I'm Amy Payne.
Amy, I'm so sorry.
So good.
I'm so sorry.
You got my daughter there. Everyone interchanges us. So I have a little of her energy traveling with me today.
All right, now that's good news, baby.
Isn't it? Yeah. So I'm Amy Payne, and I'm running for High Bailiff of Chittenden County. It's a position where every time I knock on a door, someone says, what exactly is High Bailiff? It's been a ceremonial position that's been held, and no one does anything with it. It has two responsibilities. One is to arrest the sheriff, which no longer is up to High Bailiff. The state police do that. They've been doing that since 1947. And then the other is to step in and oversee the department if the sheriff becomes incapacitated.
Wow.
And so they step in, oversee the department while the governor appoints a new sheriff.
Okay.
It's a short-term crisis management sort of position. I'm running, though, because I think in this time we can't have ceremonial positions. We need to do more with everything that we have. And so what I'd like to build into this position is community outreach and bridge building between the sheriff's department and the public, so that we can begin to create a different kind of environment between at least one section of our, I know you object, it's not law enforcement, but our sheriff's department and the public.
Well, thank you, Amy. And the phenomenal Brian Cina's here, baby!
Hi.
Introduce yourself.
So I'm Brian Cina. I'm currently a state representative for Chittenden 15, which is part of Burlington, and I have been since 2017. It's been 10 years, and I'm running for my 6th term. And I'm also a social worker and a performance artist and a community organizer. And as a state representative, I have been a transatlantic policy fellow in AI, and a national policy fellow in opioid policy, and so some of the areas that I've worked on are healthcare, because I'm on the healthcare committee, and housing and AI policy. And in the next session, I'm interested in trying to push forward with meaningful criminal justice reform that includes alternatives to incarceration and ways to promote recovery instead of perpetuating harm, and which drives criminal behavior. And so I'm especially interested in talking with 3 candidates who are running for positions that involve law enforcement or criminal justice practices. So I'll just stop there for now.
Well, thank you. And I want you to know you got my vote, good brother.
You know you're in a different district, though.
Listen.
Details.
Listen, some details really don't matter. But I love Brian because he's community first, you know, and he's always been an advocate for the good and wholesome. And he's my brother from another mother. Good folks. I love having good folks. And let me tell y'all something. I didn't invite you here because I want to question you with stupid questions. I invited you because I want you to know I endorse you. You know, I want you to know that I love having regular folks living regular lives doing the damn thing. Yeah. Now, I ain't know nothing about no high bailiff, but you just gave me the 2 responsibilities, which is huge, you know? So kudos to you for that. And Sarah, girl, don't you let nobody talk shit, okay? Don't you let nobody criticize you and tear you down for the job that you do, because there's a lot of weight and a lot of harm that comes with the job. But you sitting here today shows me that you got the good rocks. You understand?
Yeah.
And I've read some of the comments from people, and it's like, oh, get over yourself. You know, 'cause people can be petty as hell. You know, some people get a rise from tearing others down. You know, you ain't gonna step up and do it, so how about you be quiet? You know? Ooh! And Kevin, I really think it's time for a change.
Thanks,
for
Lydia.
the sheriff office, because I'm not a fan, never have been. The man is big and scary, you know, because he's been to my door. But I enjoy the new, fresh blood and attitude that you bring to the table. And I want you to win, baby!
Oh, thanks,
Winners! Okay? We got 4 winners up here. What you say, Winnie?
Yeah!
Yay! So, is there anything anyone would like to share? Because I'm not into tearing you down and asking dumb questions, but I do want to abolish ICE. Yeah. Sick of y'all. Sick of you. Oh, okay, I'm not going to cuss, but y'all working my nerves. I mean, murdered somebody in Maine a couple of days ago. I mean, how much horror do we need before people recognize we all in this together? And the bickering and the tearing down and the accusations, I'm exhausted. I need the good and the wholesome to shine brighter. Because did I tell y'all I got grandbaby number 8 on Friday?
Oh my God. Congrats!
Yeah! Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Okay, I'm gonna calm down. Her name is Eris Josephine. She born
beautiful.
7/17. And she is so beautiful.
Congrats.
I'm so proud. Oh, baby, nobody takes my joy away. You know, the little petty, I need to pick this and pick that. Shut up. Move over. Be quiet. Because, baby, I am a happy grandma, okay? Mm-hmm. And let me share a little bit about me, because you guys don't know me. But I lived in South Burlington 20 years. And I found out through community that South Burlington had never had a person of color step up and try for city council. And I was like, what? That makes no sense. So I ran in 2023, 2024, and 2025. And according to the numbers, I didn't win. But somebody was listening.
Yeah.
Because the first year I got like 100 votes. Second year I got 200 votes. The third year I got 802 votes. Okay? And I miss South Burlington, you know, because I guess I kind of blossomed there. Because I sure gave them a run for their money. Okay? And somebody was listening, so I'm proud of me, you know, and I am a winner. Okay? Nobody can take that away from me. I'd never done it before, and I feel so bad for you guys having to do all that campaigning and raising money and the mailings and the signs. Baby, I was exhausted.
It's a lot.
It's a
It is
lot.
Yeah.
Oh, so I truly admire you stepping up, because there's no greater joy than to conquer in life.
Yeah.
And I conquered, baby. Listen, I'm proud of me. Yeah, Winnie, proud of me. And I'm not done yet. Look, I'm back in Burlington, baby. Y'all better watch out, cause the queen is coming.
Queen Lydia.
Yes.
When did you move to Burlington? A few months ago?
A few minutes.
Right?
I moved to Burlington May 1st.
So I
Amazing.
believe what's the residency requirement? I think it's a year.
To run?
Yeah, 2 years a year. So
There
hopefully
you
we'll
go.
see you on the ballot once you hit that point, because it would be great to have your voice in the legislature or in another position.
I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for, and I'm enjoying my brand new apartment, which is at the Post, downtown Burlington. It's where the VFW used to be.
Yeah.
Well, everything is brand spanking new. And I'm telling you, nobody can tell me nothing. There's not the craziness that used to be downtown Burlington. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Metronome and Nectar's is gone. You know, it's quieter. It's not bananas every night with the drunks and the junkies and the fools of the world, you know. But God is amazing all the time, baby, because this is a blessing for me. I got a view of the lake and the mountains. Oh, baby, baby. I wake up to it every day. But I'm going to stop
Same.
talking. Kevin, anything you want to share with us? Because I saw your oh my goodness, what is that thing? Vote for Bloom. I seen it in Milton, and I was like, yes!
Yeah.
Because you know, you get to see them in certain places. They more popular in certain areas, but Milton needed to know. And I was so happy to see your sign, baby. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I want you to know that when you come up with a way to bring some funds together to help folks keep from being evicted, I want to support that.
Cool.
You know, because I think that's an important part of being sheriff. You don't have to get happy to put people out in the street, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if you could do something about it to prevent it, why not go that route?
it's exactly how I feel. And one thing I want everyone to know, a sheriff in Vermont is not law enforcement. They had law enforcement responsibilities taken away from them in 1947 as state lawmakers reasoned they are both ineffective and easily corruptible.
Oh, wow.
So they formed the state police. So what I'd like to see the sheriff focus on is eviction prevention, like you were talking about. There's a gap of time between when the eviction process starts with a sheriff delivering eviction paperwork to a tenant's home and when it is carried out through a writ of possession or eviction enforcement at the very end of the process. The sheriff is the best positioned branch of our government to do this work because they are both the first and last point of contact. And there's no rule that you can't be helpful and do the right thing.
Oh, I love that part. And I speak from experience. I've never been evicted, but I've been homeless with children.
I'm so sorry.
So listen, I have conquered, baby. My grandbabies don't know nothing about being homeless. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you even just uttering that you want to do something about it, because not everybody sees a way to prevent eviction.
Yeah, you know, when you look at the data, evictions are up 45% in the last 5 years.
Wow,
that's
I
a
did
crisis.
not know that.
And when you look at these evictions, over 70% are for non-payment and non-payment alone, half of which, so 35% of all evictions are for $2,000 or less.
Wow.
Sometimes we're throwing children and families into the street in the winter without support for a couple $100. Eviction prevention is the cheapest and most effective way to address the eviction crisis that's plaguing our community. I mean, there are very real public safety concerns. And I think that what people should look at as the root cause of these is this massive increase in evictions that places people into dangerous and desperate situations. You know, I think that housing alone isn't going to solve everything, but all of our issues, to me, or almost all of them, seem to be downstream from housing, like, you know, substance use disorder, mental health, especially homelessness. It's in the name.
Hello.
They're certainly exacerbated by it.
Absolutely.
All of those things are exacerbated when you don't have a home. You don't know where you're going to sleep or what you're going to eat that day, depression
And I want to just share, during the pandemic, I received a couple eviction notices, which made no sense. You know, it wasn't just me, it was several of us in the building. But what was the most uncomfortable part was when the sheriff showed up. He's this big, scary dude. And it just blew my mind, you know, and I still have that, that fear. Just looking at this big, burly man coming, you know, to cause more trauma. Because the money they sent the eviction notice for came the next day. So the eviction notice was never necessary, you know. But there are ways that we can change the outcome of evictions, you know. And Kevin, you don't look big and burly and scary. You look friendly.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you. So Sarah, talk to us. What you want to do differently this term?
That's a great question. You know, I think that one thing obviously that's at the top of my mind is figuring out how to hold ICE accountable. You know, as a local prosecutor, there's this, I think, expectation and hope from people that I have that capacity or that ability, and it's very difficult. And I think that working with legislators to try to figure out how these cases could be investigated by a sort of independent law enforcement agency, or even the Human Rights Commission, or you know, taking it out of local law enforcement's hands for a lot of reasons. The conflicts involved, and just generally having law enforcement police themselves. I think having an investigation that could happen when we see these horrific things happening in our community that will allow us as local prosecutors to hold ICE agents accountable is something that is at the top of my mind. Like, I really want to figure out, you know, not over the next 4 years, but over the next 3 to 6 months, really.
I hear you.
Because I don't.
They need a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah.
I feel like a taste of their own medicine would give them the wake up.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, there's a lot about March 11th that was horrifying for me, but
Yes.
I think one of them, as a prosecutor, one of the most horrifying things is that an ICE agent put inaccurate and you know, purposely, I think, put inaccurate information in a warrant in order to enter that residence, and there was no accountability for that. If that happened in one of my cases with a local law enforcement agency, I'd write a Brady letter and they wouldn't be a cop anymore.
Okay.
But that's not the feds didn't do that. The U.S. Attorney's Office didn't do that. And I think that we need to be able to figure out ways that we can do some of that and disrupt that relationship a little bit more, because these are our community members that are being harmed. And
March 11th was a lot.
yeah.
It was a lot of trauma and harm. You know, it's like, oh my God, in my backyard. Come on now.
Yeah. And
Right
it's-
here.
And everlasting. I mean, it's still, you know, like it still is for people who were there, for people who were watching even, you know, from afar, to see how it all played out. You know, I think that it just continues to be incredibly harmful for our community with no closure. And by that I mean no accountability really for the ICE agents that caused so much harm that day. So that's something I really want to do. I want to continue to work on, you know, this sort of repeat offender narrative is very loud right now, but we are doing some really innovative stuff in the courthouse to address people that even have 2 or more cases now by connecting them directly to services, connecting them to housing, having Howard Center in the courtroom with us,
okay.
sort of meeting them where they're at and getting them connected has been a really incredible experience, being able to see people get connected to services in the courthouse, which seems like it should be something that always happens, but it very much is not. Our legal system is terrible at connecting people to the services they need.
Our legal system is, I'm
terrible.
about to cuss. Amy, talk to us, honey. It's so nice to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you too.
Aw.
When I got that email, I thought, no way. And then I had to make sure you were real.
I love it. I love it.
She's real.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, I did. But I think
real.
it was the
Yeah,
real,
no, I know,
real,
I know.
you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I am grateful and thankful that my community could come to the table and just have a conversation. You know, y'all are brave. I've been in your shoes, so I know, you know, but I'm coming back too, so.
Can't wait.
I'm inspired, you know what I'm saying? I'm inspired by regular people, you know? And I cherish that part,
Yeah.
you know? No critics, you know, no judgment, because we are all in this together and we want things to be better.
Yeah.
Right, Brian?
Right.
Are you looking at me?
Well, because she
Yeah.
gave you space to speak, and I'm waiting to hear what you have to say.
Well, I think that you just said it. Like, we're all in this together. And we all want it to be better. And the way that happens is if we all begin to see one another as human.
Yeah.
And
First.
if you think about Dorset Street, that wasn't happening.
Ooh.
Right? And there was just an article that came out about, you know, a long day for law enforcement on that day. And there are things that keep being missed in those articles. And one is that in that house were 5 innocent people, and they were trapped in that home. And there was no conversation about them or their fate or the ability or inability to protect them. It's like they didn't exist. And they exist.
And
They're
they
our
were
community,
afraid. They
right?
were scared.
They were afraid. And the people who showed up that day, I was an English teacher, and I'm really interested in language because language brings us together and language divides us. And the language that's used around the people that showed up, the citizens who showed up that day, is rioters, troublemakers, protesters. Agitators. And a protester is someone who shows up like on No King's Day, right? Or when people marched the other day to say, no more killings, no more killings. That's a protest. But when people showed up in front of Dorset Street, it was because they knew their neighbors were in danger and that no one was going to stop it if it wasn't just regular people stopping it. So I don't know, I call that defender, protector. Maybe they're pretentious words, but they're real words. And people put their lives on the line.
Real action.
And that kind of conversation is what I see not happening. That day, like, it was like people could not see each other between the uniform and the whatever everyone was wearing, like funny raincoats and, you know, goggles and stuff. that's the kind of conversation I'd love to begin,
Okay.
so that we could humanize. One step is all we can do, right?
right.
But without taking one, we don't take any.
And could we see each other as human
Could we?
first?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's such a small thing.
Love is fierce, right? I mean, that's love, and love, people make fun of it, but it's the fiercest thing we have.
True.
Yeah.
I agree.
Love is real.
Love in action.
Yeah.
Right, good brother?
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, on that note, speaking of seeing each other as human, maybe the thing I would share is like a priority for me is going to be looking at holding people accountable when they cause harm in a way that wraps them in care, so that we reverse the cycles of harm that led to that harm. When people, by the time people end up in a criminal justice system, there's usually a whole trail of trauma that got them there. And we respond to the harm that someone causes by punishing them, by hurting them to try to teach them a lesson. That's how the
Hurting
system
them
is.
more.
Yes, and my colleagues and the governor have been on this path towards accountability, where they're changing laws to, felonize people for behaviors, to reverse decisions we made that take into account human development by like charging younger people as adults, etc. And there's this mindset that we need to teach people a lesson through punishment. But research and our hearts show us that that's not how it works.
It
and
don't
that
work.
Our correctional facilities are places that breed criminal behavior, and that there's plenty of research out there, and there's examples from around the world of how we can do things differently. And so I would like to see us explore a pilot project in downtown Burlington, where we build a recovery and justice hub next to the courthouse. And in this recovery and justice hub, there would be over 200 beds for people who are detained or in reentry of any gender, and the floors could be tailored towards special populations depending on current need. I would propose that the youth be kept at the top floor, so that when a kid gets in trouble in Vermont, we don't ship them out of state to a place where they get hurt more, but we put them at the top of the tallest building, and we say, you're going to be up here and the mothers are going to be beneath you. And we're going to lift you all up and give you and wrap you in services and show you the world that you're going to return to.
Come on, baby, talk about it. Talk about
This
it.
facility could also have men. And so then if we have 200 beds that are detention reentry for men, women, and children, we could then take the remaining women who have long-term sentences and build smaller, like 20-bed long-term facilities in Chittenden County, like similar to the River Valley residence for adults with mental illness. And then we could move up, and we can shut the women's facility, and then we can move 100 men from St. Albans here, and then move all the men home from out of state, and that would recoup the state $30 to $40 million a year, which we could use to pay off the facility. And then the facility that I designed, which is just one idea, would also include 100 beds of supportive housing, so DCF kids, when they turn 18, could be offered housing where, as they live there, they're saving up money from their rent to buy a home or to go to school, and housing for the mothers too. And the development I'm looking at would also have 10 storefronts and an observation deck that we could use on it would be the tallest building in Vermont, so it would be a tourist attraction. And so that's one way of approaching it. But what I really am asking in terms of legislative action is for the state to create a study group with a bunch of stakeholders to explore the idea and come back to the legislature after extensive public engagement with a proposal for how to redevelop that land around the courthouse in Burlington and along the transit lines to meet these needs. And if people want examples of who's doing this, New York City is closing Rikers Island.
Come on!
And replacing it with justice hubs at every county courthouse.
That's good news,
So
baby.
this is not a progressive failed experiment or idea. This is a very moderate idea being done, and this predates Mom Donnie, so don't blame it on him. Okay? It goes
He
back.
is the only reason it's actually getting closed.
Yeah,
this
Eric
point,
Adams wouldn't do
right,
it.
but the process began
Yeah,
before even Eric
totally,
Adams. Like
totally.
that, Justice Hubs is a model that's promising.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you think about it, why do we ship someone who's been accused of a crime and not even guilty yet to a prison an hour away, and then ship them back? That alone is an expense on the taxpayers in terms of transportation and housing. If a person gets arrested, if they're held next to the courthouse and they're wrapped in services and there's a rapid intervention, they could be sent home sooner, or if they're kept there, it's under the watchful eye of the judges next door. They're not shipped off to a facility far away. So I could go on about this idea, but I think it does interconnect with the roles of some of the candidates here, because the state's attorney is responsible for prosecution. So a lot of the people that you're seeking to get services for in the treatment courts, they could be there, right there next to the treatment courts, getting the treatment from community-based providers wrapped in that facility. And they could be the same providers they see when they get out, because they're community-based, not an out-of-state contractor.
I love that.
And for the sheriff, the sheriff has to transport people.
Well,
wait, you can weigh in on this in a second.
to.
They're supposed to. I want you to weigh in on this in a second. But like, they're supposed to assist with transportation. How much are we spending paying the sheriff, paying for gas to transport people somewhere where they could be next door? And maybe this is a good handoff to you. What do you do when the sheriff doesn't do that duty?
That's a really good question, and I was immediately thinking about the failure of the current sheriff unilaterally deciding to just stop transporting people out of incarceration.
So can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, so one day the sheriff decided, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to. He claimed financial burden, but that's ridiculous for two reasons. One, the Chittenden County Sheriff has never made more money than they make right now. And two, the resource responsible for this transport are called state's deputies or transport deputies, who are paid like a state trooper outside of his own budget. The only line item he is on the hook for is the price of gas. This policy says that these people's lives are worth less than gasoline. Wow. I could not disagree more. You know, I really love your idea of building this location right next to where they'll already be. I mean, that is probably the best way to solve this transportation issue. I mean, there's no better way to do that than by putting them right next to each other. I mean, the sheriff should be doing transport, but there's no system for accountability for sheriffs in Vermont. That's crazy. We have seen sheriffs commit all sorts of salacious crimes in the past 5 years with no consequences. They've kept their job. They may have lost their police certification, but they have kept their job and their salary. And the only recourse a community has is to hope that everyone remembers this by the time the next election comes around and someone else is running for this office.
Every 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which doesn't always happen. But yeah, I love this idea. I'm a huge supporter, and I really appreciate that you brought this up.
Me too. I like the idea too. It makes so much sense. Where the hell is the governor on this?
I've presented this idea to them, and when I last present, so I'm on a stakeholder group for the women's replacement facility, along with people representing various organizations who work in the prisons, like Vermont Works for Women and Mercy Connections. The great organizations. We're in the steering committee, and when I presented the idea most recently, a lot of those steering committee members supported it. But what I heard from the commissioner, who used to be our police chief, his reaction was something along the lines of it's unrealistic or expensive or something like it was not open. But I'm hopeful that with time the administration will open up to this, because when you hear a new idea, it's very easy to reject it as unrealistic. But if you actually look at the numbers, it makes sense. If you care about how you're spending taxpayers' money, spending it on a model that perpetuates crime, which is what we're currently doing, is blowing money away. And then we transition them to homelessness because the sheriff doesn't pick them up, and they're on the streets trying to find their way somewhere next. And what happens? People get in trouble again within days because they're just abandoned to the street. So if we had a detention center while they're awaiting trial, or a reentry center as well when they're leaving incarceration, wrapped in services, all that money we're spending, we're investing it in them in a way that is setting them up for success. And while they're living there, they could be saving up money in a bank account, they could be getting paid, they could be like allowed to leave and take the bus to work and come back. There's all these creative things we could do with the space. So it'd be a wiser use of taxpayer money in that regard. Number two, that's wasted land downtown. We're redeveloping the downtown. We might as well use that land, that state land, for something. And this is a need. So it would be, and if we built it the right way, if we can move the people home from out of state, that money will pay it off over time. So it's like, why would we not at least explore the idea, which is what I'm asking. I made a design of a building because I want to show people what it could be, but the study might say that's too big, or it's not big enough, or we need to approach it differently. I'm open to that. What I'm asking for is that we take a serious look at thinking differently about how we spend taxpayer money to solve our problems. And I would call this an intersectional solution, because we're not just solving one problem. We're looking at healthcare, housing, criminal justice, transportation, all in one
Wraparound service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I love your idea.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's a great idea, and I don't understand one of the things that we have to pay attention to is people who you just cannot please, and no matter what, and go around them, go above them. But there are people like that in different areas of life. So, but I want to thank each and every one of you, beautiful people. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Lydia.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to you all being winners! Winners!
And we're looking forward to your signs out there in the next couple of years. Yeah.
Let us know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I greatly appreciate every one of you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.